You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice softly carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
It's hypnotizing. It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. You're playing a dangerous game by coming here unarmed. Good. You're still listening to reason. It would be better if you had a weapon, but you may still be able to do what needs to be done. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's beautiful. How could someone like this be a threat to anyone? I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. Do you think you can get me out of these chains? Okay. Oh.
She pauses, carefully formulating her words before she responds.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness. Or you can just call me Princess if Your Royal Highness is too formal.
Is Princess her name or her title? What if it's both? Could you imagine being named Princess Princess?
Like I said, you can call me Princess if you'd like. I'm sorry, I've been down here so long I guess I've just forgotten. I must have a name though. Everyone has a name.
Okay, that's weird. She hadn't even thought to pick a name for herself. Hopefully you're starting to see that she can't be trusted. Go back upstairs, get the blade, and slay her before it's too late.
Of course I'm locked up down here for a reason. I don't actually know what that reason is, but you don't just stuff a princess in a basement and throw away the key without there being some sort of an explanation, right?
You have all the explanation you need, and you should know better than to trust whatever she comes up with. princess hesitates before responding. She doesn't know. She's been down here too long to have any idea of what she'd do in another life. She knows what she'd do. She's just searching for whatever answer she thinks you want to hear.
Are you looking for the truth, or are you looking for the right answer? Because with the dynamic we have going on here, I don't think the specifics of what I do really matter. It's not like you'd believe me.
Only making this more difficult.
Thank you, and you won't. I promise.
You're making a huge mistake. No, you're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
Okay, I'll be here. Good luck.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here? You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely hesitates before raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf. As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now. Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that. Fine. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm, just above the unyielding chain binding her to this place. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and it takes little effort to crack through the bone of her arm. Her limb falls to the ground, and the heavy chains follow suit. She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal. No, she didn't. She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground. How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I can't just let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
What are you doing?
Okay, there's no going back now. I'm with you to the end. You bring the blade down to strike at the princess's heart. But she's fast. She ducks to the floor, your blade narrowly grazing her backside. Slaying her won't be easy now that she's free.
We could have gotten out of here together. Were you just lying to me this whole time? I don't know what's come over you, but if I have to kill you, then I'll kill you. Do you think I need both of my arms to do that?
She pounces on you with the same animal ferocity she used to tear through her arm. But you have a weapon. You raise the blade, digging it under her ribs, aiming directly for the heart. It's not enough to stop her. You feel her claws in your throat, then her teeth, somehow sharp enough to pull apart your flesh and sinew with ease. You collapse to the floor, your body unresponsive as your blood pools on the ground beneath you. She stares down at your ravaged form, eyes shining in the darkness, dress stained in red as her blood and yours both seep into the fabric. If we're lucky, the wound you managed to inflict will be enough to at least delay her escape from this place. If we're very lucky, it will kill her before she can reach the outside world. It can't just end like this, right? As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. I'm sorry, but it's over. Everything goes dark, and you die. You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. Don't worry, you can trust us to get the job done. The interior of the cabin is a mess of twisted roots. The walls a chaotic weave of knotted wood that, almost as if by accident, just happened to resemble a room. The floor is damp and earthy, and the only furniture of note is a slab of mud in the shape of a shelf, with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. You take the blade from the shelf. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Well, if we're grabbing a weapon, we should probably keep it hidden behind our backs. She doesn't have to know we have it. That's not actually a bad idea. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase dug into the muddy earth below. The ceiling is thick with roots that hang like locks of tangled hair. The weak starlight from the cabin windows behind you can barely penetrate the gloom here, only illuminating the edges of an opening below. It shines in the darkness like some kind of massive maw, waiting to swallow you up into the earth. The air smells of dirt and copper. It's thick and wet, as if your lungs are being coated in mud with each intake of breath. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her voice skitters up from below.
Something nasty finds itself on my stairs. Come on down. Don't be scared. I probably won't bite. Silence, I see. Don't think I've forgotten about you. I recognized the sound of your nervous little footsteps as soon as they came into my home. I know who you are, and I remember what you've done.
She must have you confused with someone else. She seems friendly enough. Maybe we can talk our way out of this whole situation. You can't. Unless you slay her right away, she's going to break free and end the world. There's no reasoning with what she is. Look, I'm just throwing ideas out there. I like to think out loud. I'm the kind of guy who likes a discussion. Don't we want to hear what everyone has to say before making any big decisions? Do you want to hear what everyone has to say? Or do you just want to hear yourself talk? You need to stop lingering. Your task is to slay the princess, not endlessly debate about what to do with the princess. Fine. You're the boss. Thank you. You descend the basement steps, entering the dark room below. You can just make out the shape of the princess in the gloom. She's huddled against the far wall, her eyes bright and glaring from amid the thick roots.
And there you are, one hand tucked away behind your back, gripping that sharp, sharp blade, no doubt.
That's no fair. How would she know that?
So, we've dropped the pretenses. Good.
She's acting like the two of you already know each other. Oh no. You've already been here, haven't you? That's pretty sharp. How'd you figure that one out? Call it deductive reasoning. Well, you seem to be great at it. Do you remember us then? Do you remember last time? No, I don't. But you and the princess clearly have a shared reality, even if I'm not a part of it. I won't waste time fighting you on something that's clearly true. I'm just glad we could put all this behind us. Is it all behind us? Just focus on the task at hand. I don't care if you've been here before, and I don't care if you think you'll go somewhere else after this. My world is on the line right now, so I'd appreciate it if you would take this seriously and slay her. Let's chat her up a bit first. Maybe we can find a middle ground where everyone's happy. Don't talk to her. You're just going to make things more difficult than they have to be.
Well, I seem to remember you having a tongue. Is that a joke? Do you think a joke will charm my trust back? You'll have to try harder than that. Oh, of course. They're nothing to me.
The princess grins as the chains fall from her wrist. She could have gotten out of those the whole time. That sneaky little... A woman after my own heart, really. She knows how to hold her cards close to her chest. This is why she can't just be abandoned here. If left to her own devices, she'll find a way out. Now stop her.
The cabin lets prying little beasts like you come as you please, but it insists I stay where I am. That binding I shed is just a symbol of the crueler magic at work in this place. If I'm to leave with you, and you alone. Yes, let's.
She creeps forward, taking one cautious step at a time until you and she are face to face. She never breaks eye contact, even as the two of you find yourselves face to face. She's silent for a long moment, as if testing to see what you'll do now that she's within arm's reach.
After you, darling. You're the one it lets come and go. It's best if I follow.
Oh no, we can't have that. If anyone is going to turn their back on anyone else, she's going to turn her back on us. It shouldn't matter who leads and who follows. We're working together here. Well, if it doesn't matter, then she can go first. We may be in this together, but that doesn't mean we have to trust her. We're armed and she's not. What's she gonna do? Bite us when we're not looking? You're talking a lot about trusting someone who, by her very definition, cannot be trusted. I don't know how many more warnings I have to dole out, but if you help her out of here, you're going to regret it.
And turn my back on you? You think me a fool? Your tricks are one of the only things I've known, and I've learned better by now.
Just go first. You can't be serious. Now, hold on. We should put this to a vote. The blade is one of our most valuable assets. We can't just give it to her. What if she uses it to kill us? I vote no. As do I. Abstain? You abstain? She's going to kill us if we give it to her. You're going to get everyone killed, you know that, right? But of course you do. You hand the blade to the princess, who quickly snatches it from you, her eyes darting between you and the weapon with a nervous curiosity.
I wouldn't have done that. Why did you? What do you think happens now?
Her shoulders tense and her eyes dart away.
This is another trick. You're trying to sow doubt, but it's not going to work on me.
And then she buries the blade in your heart. What? No, come on, that's not right. I told you this is what she was going to do. Glee dances across her face as you fall to the ground.
I did it! I got you! You...
The princess seems to tremble, her smile fading quickly, replaced with concern. Her nervous eyes brim with tears.
Why? Why did you let me do this?
But you don't have the strength to respond, nor do you have the time. Everything goes dark, and you die. You're on a path in the woods. I can't believe she actually stabbed us. I told you not to give her the blade. I told you it would come around to bite us. I voted against it. Yeah, we know. You already got your I told you so's in while we were bleeding out. I just wanted to make sure that everyone here knows that I was and am on the right side of that argument. Oh, you're far from being on the right side of anything. You're fixated on the past, whereas what you should be is fixated on the future. Ho ho! A visionary. I like it. Tell me more. Gladly, my dear fellow. By cruelly turning on the princess in her moment of vulnerability, we made ourselves an enemy. But by mastering our fear and insecurity and handing over our power, we've begun a journey to something so much deeper. I like journeys. Travelling is a bit of a passion of mine. It makes me so relatable. Now, where are we off to? Well, if we're lucky, it's a journey to love. She hates us. Does she? She hesitated before stabbing us to death. Maybe she won't be as keen to betray us this time. We've already proven to her that we can change, so maybe she'll realise that things don't have to end in violence. You know, maybe you're right, in which case I suppose the only thing to do is to get back to the cabin and give it another try. Give what another try exactly? You are aware I've been listening to you, right? It makes no difference if we conspire in the shadows or bear our intentions with open hearts. We are breaking your cruel cycle and whisking her away to freedom. Oh, are you now? Great, so you've obviously been here before, since you apparently died at least once. Twice, actually. Sure. Twice. Then I'll spare you the little introduction I had planned. You already know about the princess, and clearly you already know that she's dangerous. So don't muck this up. It's bad enough that this isn't your first time through. It isn't long before you find yourself at the base of the cabin. I think it's clear where everyone stands at this point. I don't know if I'd say everyone. You talking about me? I have a position. It's a good one, too. Ignore him, he's just talking for talking's sake. My position is the only one that matters. The princess is a threat to you. She's a threat to me, and most importantly, she's a threat to the world. You know what you have to do. The interior of the cabin is hardly an interior at all anymore. The burned-out ruins merely suggest the shape of the structure that once stood here, charred wood still reeking of ash. But beneath it lies the fresh smell of spring growth after rain, the promise of new life in the wreckage of the old. The only furniture of note is the crisp shell of what was once a table, a pristine... Wait, this isn't right. There's supposed to be a pristine blade. Why isn't there a pristine blade? We gave it to her last time. She can't still have it, can she? Well, it's not here, and if she has it... Let me guess, you want to get all chummy with her. Look, as far as I see it, if it's between him and her, I say we side with the one who has the weapon. It's just the smart thing to do. I wouldn't be so hasty. I'm sure the blade will turn up somewhere. She can't have it. That's not how this is supposed to work. If she does have it, that's all the more reason to put our faith in her. We've already shown her our heart. Now she has to show us hers. Unless her heart tells her to stab us, which doesn't seem unlikely, so yes, I agree. Let's make sure we get on her good side. You step forward and approach the scorched entryway leading to the basement, hesitating before you begin the descent. You know what you have to do. Wipe away the grit from the mirror, and behold our handsome features. You reach forward and wave your hand through the hollow entrance leading to the basement. What are you doing? Alas, our fine features remain unseen. We'll just have to trust that she'll find us beautiful as we are. Well, seems like the only way to go is forward, isn't it? Yes, that's where everything tends to be. Let's just put on a good face and have our wits about us. You step through the frame of scorched wood and make your way into the darkness below. The stairs to the basement are covered in a fine layer of gritty ash. The air still feels warm, as if the fires that ruined this place had only recently been extinguished. Yet fresh shoots of thorny branches are already weaving themselves through the soot-covered earth of the walls around you. Their spines point courteously down towards the basement, so you're able to brush past their jagged points with ease, at least on the way down. But you don't need to think about the way back up just yet. That's a matter for after the world's been saved. These thorns are an expression of her pain. I know it. She's calling out for help. Her voice, worn down by pain and suspicion, hobbles up the stairs.
I can't get away from you, can I? You betray me, I kill you, and you come back. You let me kill you, and you come back. I don't know why you let me do that. I don't know what you want from me.
You continue down the basement stairs, brushing past the smooth edges of thorns that grow more and more plentiful as you make your way forward. You step out into what was once a vast open cavern, now overrun by briars and prickles and thistles, the space thick with hostile vegetation. At the heart of it all, encased in a tight weave of vines, is the princess, her bloody, trembling hands clutching a pristine blade.
Did you know this was going to happen to me? Are you here to watch me suffer? Are you here to laugh? I want to trust you.
Her grip tightens on the blade.
But you're hiding something, aren't you? Why would you help me if you weren't helping yourself? I don't know. What can either of us really say at this point? How can we trust something as hollow as words?
She's right, there's nothing left to say. So let's get a move on and do something before she comes up with a scheme to get out of here on her own. We don't need words to send a message. It is through action that we can show her our adoration, our devotion, our kindness. The princess clutches the blade closer to her chest.
That sounds nice. I'm so tired of the bad blood between us, but it's hard to let it go. You've hurt me.
Her eyes dart away from yours for a brief moment.
And I've also hurt you.
Her eyes briefly meet yours, then dart back to the floor. She hangs her head in resignation.
Okay.
You reach towards her bloodied hands, laying your palm on her trembling fingers. For a moment, she clutches it even tighter, her knuckles going white with the effort. but then the tension fades. Her grip finally loosens and she allows you to take the weapon. You carefully pull it free from the thorns, though they scrape at your skin, leaving red trickles of fresh blood all along your arms. She trusts us. She trusts us. Doesn't that set your heart aflutter? Yeah, a little. It could just be nerves. Being this close to her does bring back unpleasant memories, but I don't know, it doesn't feel bad. It feels good. Like we're special to her. We are special to have gained an ounce of trust from a maiden so guarded. Now all that remains is to free her from her bindings. Yeah, let's do it. Let's show her how much both of us have changed. Or, hear me out, we slay her. Right here, right now. She's never been so helpless, and if we don't take advantage of that, we may never get another chance. That sounds like a splendid idea. You should listen to him. I see that the lines have been drawn. It's 2 against 1. It's 2 against 2. You don't count. And why shouldn't he count? Because he's clearly not one of us. That doesn't matter. He's been with us the whole time. He should get a say.
So, did you mean it? Or was I a fool to hand my life to you?
Yes, what a good idea. Let's cut her free. Oh, so you're suddenly team free her. You can't just switch sides as soon as we make a decision. I can do whatever I want, and I believe with my whole heart that this is the right course of action. Let's free this princess. Everyone deserves a chance at redemption. Let him join us and be merry. We are all united by our passion. That's right, what he said. We've already given him a chance at redemption. And who says I don't deserve another? I really mean it this time. I'm big enough to admit when I'm wrong. So I want to help you all free her. And I have no problem with that. Welcome to the team. You're one of us now. One of the good guys. You take the blade to the thorny vines imprisoning the princess, and she flinches, relaxing only slightly as the blade slices into the thick vegetation rather than her arm. And she flinches again as the last of the vines is cut away, as if, after all of that, she's still expecting you to turn on her and stab her in the heart. But you're not going to do that, are you? Still, all it would take is a single slip of the blade. Such a pathetic attempt at distraction and subterfuge. Our blade is a dashing sword, and every dashing sword is an extension of its hero. It won't slip. You're right. He can't even make it slip, can he? He's a bit of a nobody. Good thing I've been on your side of all this since the beginning. The princess falls into your arms, tears streaking down her cheeks. I can't believe you're making me describe this. I hate you.
You actually meant it. You rescued me.
Do you see the way she's looking at us? Kiss her. Kiss her now before the moment ends. She smiles, her hand slipping into yours, and the two of you rush to the basement stairs. You should have kissed her, you fool! It was the perfect moment! Shameful, really, that the same thorns that so graciously allowed you downstairs are now blocking your only way out. Please, after all the trials we've been through, do you really think a few measly thorns can stop us? Love is an even more powerful weapon than our blade. We cut through those other vines just fine. They're only thorns. I'm not afraid of getting a few scrapes. I'm not even sure we need to do any cutting. We can just move them out of the way. What a pathetic showing, really.
A few pointy sticks can't keep us down here. We're both meant for so much more than this.
As you swing your blade into the thorns covering the basement stairs, they yield. Both you and the princess ascend the stairs without obstacle. This is unacceptable. The second you step out of this cabin with her, the world ends. Do you hear me? What did the world ever do to you to deserve this? Your nightmare is our dream. Whatever world would condemn an innocent like her to a cycle of violence and despair isn't a world worth saving. We'll weave something new together. Something better. You and the princess hesitate at the cabin door. This is your last chance. We've already made our decision.
We're finally leaving here together, aren't we? And all we had to do was trust each other. It wasn't easy, but I'm glad we finally could.
Hands clasped, the two of you open the door and step out into a new day, you irredeemable murderers.
What do we do now? Where's everything going? Why is it so cold?
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now? I'm begging you, don't do this. This doesn't feel right. It feels different. Final. Yes, I fear that we won't like what we'll see. What if we just sit here and preen for a while? That can't hurt, right? If they think it's bad, I'm with them.
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel. I am solitary lights in an empty city. What are you? I think that you are like me. We are oceans, reduced to shallow creeks. Yes, nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond, perspectives to make my own. This one yearns for connection she feels she doesn't deserve. Even when shown compassion, she hid herself away. She will make for a cautious heart. Do not mourn her. She isn't alone anymore. I'm sorry. There are some changes that can never be undone. There are some tears that can never be unshed. This is not a place that can hold a fragment of a concept. The moment she arrived here, she was going to return to me. I promise that it doesn't hurt. I know only that they are. You are familiar, but you are not me. I feel sadness, longing, hope as I witness you. She is part of me, and part of me is her. Nothing as we are, but I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to. Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom. I have not lived. I am not afraid to die. Everything, until we meet again. More than you have found, but less than there are to find. I am infinite. The rest will find their own way home. You ask of things that cannot be done. To destroy is merely to reshape, to remold. She asks that I tell you to remember her. You won't.
You're on a path. You're here to slay. You make your way up. A warning. She will lie. We're not going to go through with it. Ignore him. The interior of the blade is... The door to the... Her voice
Hello?
is... Don't let it... Good. You walk down... I am begging...
Hi. Do you think you can get me out of these chains?
You're only making...
Thank you.
You're making... No. You walk their last...
I'm guessing you don't...
Maybe it's so doubtful.
Okay.
You attempt to... Someone... You make it easier for...
I heard the doors.
There's a slight...
If I could just...
She barely hesitates as she rips her flesh. It's the blade from... Or we could use... You won't like... Against... You cut. The blade is shut. Her limb for... She didn't so... No. She smiled. How is...
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No. We won't have any of that. The stakes are... As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait. This isn't... Watch me.
What are you doing?
Stop that.
Something's come over you, hasn't it? You know you don't have to do this, right?
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart. But the princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall before the blade has a chance to connect. Stop it. Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive. The blade. Move the blade. As your body remains frozen in stubborn resistance, the princess takes a cautious step forward.
We both know this isn't you.
She nervously reaches towards you and takes the blade from your infuriatingly rigid hands. What are you doing?
I'm sorry. I'll try to be quick.
She plunges it into your chest, tearing through flesh and sinew. It is agony. But you aren't dead yet.
Oh no! I'm so sorry.
Stay strong. We can tough it out until it's done. For her sake. For her sake? don't you start pretending that dying a painful death is some sort of heroic gesture. The two of you have literally doomed everyone. Whatever. She sinks the blade into your chest again and again and again, and you feel every inch of burning pain that slices its way into your body.
I'm sorry.
She doesn't know how to use a knife, does she? Apparently not, though it doesn't matter how sloppy her blade work is, does it? A stab wound is still a stab wound, and it won't be long before you bleed out.
I'm so sorry.
With one last thrust of the knife, your legs give out beneath you. You collapse to the floor, your blood pooling around you, your limbs unresponsive. The princess stares down at your ruined chest as tears carve rivulets of pink down her blood-spattered cheeks. It can't just end like this, right? Oh, that's rich coming from you. As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. The two of you made your choice. It's over. Everything goes dark, and you die. You're on a path in the woods. You're here to slay. Are we running away? What are you doing? We have to save her. Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going? Fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin. That's strange. It looks like this path also leads to the cabin. How convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all. You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. If you don't do your job, everyone dies. Like, dies. Forever. But fine, you turn around and trek back down the path you came.
Wait, something isn't right. Can you still hear me? You're supposed to wind up back at the cabin again. But everything is getting fuzzy. What's going on? Where are we? Oh, I don't like this one bit. There's not a single damsel in sight. How dull.
That's great to hear. As long as you bring that fiery attitude to princess slaying, I think this will all resolve splendidly. Oh, it's going to resolve splendidly, all right. The interior of the cabin is clean and elegant, its stone walls draped in fine threaded tapestries, a prison befitting a royal prisoner. The only furniture of note is an ornate wooden table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. You take the blade from the table. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
I suppose if we're to play the role of dashing knight, we need an equally dashing sword. That way she'll know we can defend her from her enemies.
Hopefully it doesn't put her on edge. There's no use arguing over motivations right now. It's good that you took the blade. You'll need it to do your job. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an intricate stairwell. Gold-trimmed carpet glimmers in the light of the torches positioned along the walls. The basement almost seems welcoming in the dim firelight. But it's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. A soft voice carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
Her voice, it's somehow even more beautiful than last time. I think we're in love.
Okay, I'm with you that we should be doing whatever we can to save her, but saying we're in love is a bit much, don't you think? We don't even know the princess. We can still do right by her without all this fawning. Yes, for everyone's sake, you're not in love. Just remember that her charms are all part of the manipulation. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall.
My love, we're here to rescue you from your unjust and foul imprisonment.
You know she can't hear you, right?
She may not be able to hear my words, but surely she can hear my spirit.
Oh, your spirit's plenty loud, all right.
It's you, my dashing hero. I was so worried you wouldn't come back.
Did you hear that? She said we're dashing.
And she called us a hero. Flattery really goes a long way with the two of you, doesn't it? Waiting for you to come back? You've been here before, haven't you?
That's right, villain, and you killed us. Well, she killed us. Only because he made us try and kill her. It was self-defense. Our beloved's hands remain unstained by cruelty.
And you've died before. So an entire world has been damned to oblivion. I'd really hoped I'd be the first, but what's done is done. What matters is you have a chance to do it right this time. We damned a whole world, but everything reset. Nothing resets, you're just somewhere else. You can't keep hopping between worlds forever. Especially not without leaving a trail of incomprehensible devastation behind you. This is horrible. Rescue her? What are you talking about? Did you forget that she's a world-ending monstrosity? And even if you wanted to unleash her onto the world, despite the complete moral disaster that would be, you'd have to get her out of those chains. Good luck with that.
Don't you see how dainty her hands are? We'll be able to slip her out with ease.
No, she's a prisoner here. You can't just slip her hand through the chains. If her hand could just slip out of the chains, why hasn't she done it already? Because we've yet to present her with her freedom. I'm not sure I follow.
Would you rather believe me, a passionate heart guided by love and my own good nature, or would you rather believe the devil on your shoulder who tells you what you can and cannot do?
I think I'd rather believe in facts.
Ah, so you're one of those empiricists.
One of us has to be.
Then let me show you a brand new truth. Narrator, we courageously step forward and free our beloved from her bindings.
No, I can't let you do that. If you take another step towards the princess, You'll what? Take over our body and force us to try and kill her? Yes.
Not on my watch, villain. My passions contain titanic depths, and if you try anything that might harm our dearest, I will end our life without a second thought.
You wouldn't.
I would.
I'd listen to him if I were you. He has a lot of strong feelings, and doesn't the world end if we don't stop her? You approach the princess and gingerly slide her hand from her bindings. That shouldn't have worked. I'll be damned. We're doomed. I can't believe it, but I guess I have to.
I told you, there's no life more worth living than that of a true believer.
I'm free, and you're not trying to kill me this time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
The princess jumps up and smothers you in a joyful embrace. Ugh. Are you sure you want to do this? Just one slip of the wrist and your pristine blade is buried in her back, and everyone out there is saved. Is that a threat?
You know what we'll do if you try it.
You're going to regret this.
What do we do now?
Let me guess. End the world?
Spoken with the rank cynicism of someone who has never felt love in his heart.
I don't actually know. Nobody's ever asked me what I wanted before.
She doesn't even know what she wants. You may have had her all wrong. What if this whole thing is just a misunderstanding? What if she doesn't want to end the world? You're so gullible. Is the only thing you've ever doubted the actual truth?
I think I want to leave. And I think...
The princess closes her eyes in deep reflection. And then she shrugs.
I don't know. What do you want to do? I just want to make you happy.
She can't just want to make us happy.
It makes sense to me. That's all I want for her, so of course she'd want the same for us.
Okay, if that's what makes you happy.
Is she broken? What's going on? What's going on is she's lying to you, only she isn't a good liar. Are you starting to trust me now?
I just want to make you happy.
This isn't right. I don't know what's going on, but this isn't right.
I fail to see the problem here. She's just sweet on us. You don't have to act like it's a big deal.
Oh, is that really what you want? If you think that would make you happy, then...
Her eyes dart uncomfortably to the corners of the room.
I guess we could do that.
Oh, at least she's normal again.
Normal again? Can't you tell she's sad? She's distraught. This is unacceptable.
But she can't be unhappy about staying with us, can she? No, It has to be him. It has to be this place. If we just made these walls more fitting for a princess, if we just say the right things, if we just showed her the contents of our heart, she'd be happy here. As the voice thinks its thought, your hands raise, fingers pointing towards your chest, and then... What? No, you absolutely do not do that. Oh, but I do. What? What is he doing? We can't see unless you tell us. Are you sure you want to know? I suppose I can't stall forever. You plunge your nails into your chest, digging deep, grasping for a handhold. And you find it, your fingers curling around your ribs.
Oh no, what are you doing? Are you okay? You can't do that and be okay.
Time out. He should not be allowed to do that. He's not the decider. And yet, it's done, isn't it? It'll be soon. You yank violently, your bones cracking with wet pops as you pull yourself apart inch by painful inch. Your exposed heart, framed by jagged ribs, thumps rhythmically in your raw, bloodied chest. The loosened, threads of your body unfurling to cover the surface of the room. Don't mind my sacrifice. It's a fair price to pay to give her everything she doesn't know she wants.
Oh, I see. You're trying to tell me something. It's beautiful.
The princess, mesmerized, reaches towards your beating heart, and then... everything goes dark and we die? Yes. You're on a path in the woods. Mate, we're clearly already in the cabin. Excuse me? You're clearly... Oh. Huh. So you are. How do you know about the cabin? I didn't get to the cabin part of my opening monologue yet. We've been here before. Well, not here, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. You knew about the loop-in last time. Not that he was eager to divulge that. Right on cue, here's the new guy. Welcome! I can't say I'm happy to be here. This is a bad place, all stale and wrong. Can't you feel it? Okay, yes, I get it. You've been here before. That's terrible. You know that, right? Because the only reason you would have been here before is if you failed in whatever world you'd come from. Meaning you doomed an entire other reality. But I'm sure since you're so well-travelled, you know that, yes? We know that you keep telling us that, but we've never seen a world end. As far as I'm concerned, that whole conversation is just noise. And I'm stuck on a better question. Where's the other one? The other one? Yeah, a certain lovesick fool has been suspiciously quiet. One might even say, absent. Oh, you're right. It's a little quiet here, isn't it? Maybe that's one of the rules. Maybe only one bonus voice is allowed to be here at a time. Bonus voice? I'm just as important as you are. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. All I'm saying is that it's my third time here and it's your first. You're not unwelcome, but from my perspective, you're definitely bonus. I'm going to describe the room now. The interior of the cabin is vast and regal. High arched windows line the walls, their multicoloured glass casting kaleidoscopic patterns across the stone floor. An iron chandelier hangs from the vaulted ceiling, its many candles lit with flickering light, vaguely illuminating the massive room. This is a house fit for royalty. Before you, there isn't a blade, is there? That's not good. As you foolishly turn to leave the cabin and abandon the world to its ruination, you're... Oh, isn't that convenient? As you turn around, you're faced with a solid wall. There isn't a way out. It would appear that you're stuck here until you find a resolution to our princess problem. Yes, it's very convenient, isn't it? I assure you, I'm just as surprised as you are. Can't you hear the relief in my voice? I wouldn't be relieved if I was the one who set this up. I would have known you were stuck here from the beginning. Look, it doesn't matter who put that wall there, because it's there. The only thing for you to do now is find the princess and, ideally, find your weapon while you're at it. With nowhere to go but forward, you turn back around, leaving the non-existent exit behind you. You cross the room, stopping just in front of the door to the basement. The handle is right there. Do feel free to give it a push as soon as you'd like. There is no door, there's a mirror. No, there isn't. What a strange thing to lie about. That's because I'm not lying. Look, if you need help, just raise your hand, and I'll guide it where it needs to go. You reach forward, your hand instinctively wrapping around the handle. It's gone. I don't like things disappearing on us. I don't like how fluid reality seems to be. Neither do I. And then you push the door open. Marvellous. We can proceed. It would seem that the stairs to the basement don't lead to a basement at all. Rather, they go up. They're draped in fine carpet too, one that feels pleasantly soft against your feet. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably... no, it doesn't work here at all. This place is nice. It's fancy, even. I have to say, whatever you did in your previous lives, I deeply dislike how much it's thrown me off my rhythm. Well, if all of this has thrown you off your rhythm so much, then maybe we don't have to slay the princess. No, you absolutely do. Just because she lives in a nice, exitless house doesn't mean that she doesn't pose a direct threat to all of reality. It's in her very nature. Am I the only one who remembers how much she changed last time? Does she even have a nature? That is precisely why she poses a threat. I don't know, she got weird for a second, yeah, but she didn't change that. We have to move on. This is a wildly dangerous line of reasoning. No, you can't just say that and not... Her voice, gentle and warm, with an undercurrent of fatigue, rolls down the stairs.
You're home. Dinner's ready.
As much as I desperately want to know what happened last time, we are not going to examine it. The more we think, the worse this gets. Why are you so on edge? This is much nicer than what we're used to. I'd like to have dinner. Dinner sounds nice. That is the problem. This isn't supposed to be nice, and she's supposed to be a prisoner. I need to stop talking. I need to stop talking. Just go upstairs, okay? And don't eat the food. This hall, like the one below, is grand and beautiful. Torches bathe the room in warm, comforting light, just enough to illuminate the tapestries along every wall, woven with scenes of chivalry and courtship and romance. The many cloth eyes are fixed on each other, gaze is averted from the long table in the centre of the room, the princess seated at its far end. Your pristine blade glints in the weak torchlight, hanging from a golden chain around the princess's neck. So that's where it is. And the tip is already pointed right at her heart. Okay, everything is falling back into place. All you have to do is cross the room, push down a little, and the entire world is saved. That's easy. Isn't that suspiciously easy? There has to be a twist. There has to be something waiting for us. You saw what happened to her last time. She's not what she seems.
You're here. Now we can start being happy together. Why don't you sit down? Wouldn't that be nice?
As the words leave her mouth, the torches flare and a chair swings in from behind, knocking your legs out from under you. You're forcibly seated at the head of the table.
Isn't that better? It is better, right? Oh, right, dinner. I totally forgotten about it.
The flames burn bright and a shadow dives across the table. In its wake, it leaves a feast.
Go ahead and dig in. I'm sure you're hungry.
Remember what I said. Oh, but it looks so amazing, and after everything we've been through, we could really use a break. Are you sure we need to be so concerned? I'm not sure about anything, and that's the problem. For what it's worth, I generally don't think one should trust strange food that magically appears on a table. But nothing here is exactly what I expected it to be, so make of that what you will.
Oh. But you were the one who asked about it. Sorry, that was snippy. It's okay. It's okay. We can figure something else out. Think. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. This isn't fine. This isn't fine at all.
As the words leave her mouth, one of the torches on the wall sputters and then goes out entirely.
What just happened? Did I do something wrong?
A light went out. Maybe a coincidence, but maybe not. As if in response to the dousing of their brother, the other three torches blaze brighter, their flames licking at the walls. Their shadows deepen, dancing angrily across the stone.
It's our happy ending, just like you asked for. It's everything we're supposed to have ever wanted. I don't know. Maybe we could play a game. Yeah, that's exactly what we should do.
The flames roar and the shadow comes dancing across the table. It leaves behind an intricate game. Its pieces elegant and beautiful and enticing, its simple rules already apparent, even with little explanation.
We can probably work together to figure this out as we go. That sounds like a lot of fun, right?
Yet another waste of time. Why all the distractions? What are we being distracted from? That's the real game. I feel like I'm 2 steps behind. You're overthinking it, mate. I feel like this is just something to do. We might as well try to have some fun. You and the princess do indeed figure it out as you go. And what a game it is. The tension between turns, the triumphant highs of moves well placed, and the tragic lows of miscalculations and careless plays. the warmth of trust and the cool texture of deception. And then, the climax, as she places her final piece.
Oh, I think we got the rules wrong.
And so you start over. Time passes. You play the game. You win. Hey! Will you look at that?
Oh, you won. I guess we can play again.
Time passes. You play the game. She wins.
Oh, I won. I guess we can play again.
There is a long pause, and the board does not reset.
This isn't fun anymore, is it?
It's never going to stay fun. You don't need me to tell you that it isn't. Oh. The princess visibly panics as another torch sputters.
Wait. Maybe this is just too easy. Maybe if we added more rules and pieces, it would be fun again.
Yeah. The game's just a little simple. We can make it fun again. The shadow descends on the board once again. More pieces are added, their shapes more intricate, their purposes less immediately clear, and the two of you set about discovering the complexities of the game anew. And so you do. And it is fun again. In fact, it's almost as fun as the first time you played, and the sputtering torch roars back to life. But then you get used to the additions, and the feeling starts to fade, a creeping numbness settling in over the board. More pieces are added, the feelings flare, the feelings fade. The princess suggests new rules. A glimmer of what could have been excitement flits through your mind, quickly vanishing as the game progresses. Your pieces advance in an ever-increasing slog to their destination. Winning and losing become nothing but ends, and even the end becomes nothing as you roll over into a new game, the board resetting as many times as you can finish, till finally...
I'm out of ideas. I'm actually out of ideas this time. I don't think I can play anymore. I'm happy, I promise. We're both so happy here. You don't have to be upset.
This is... awful. It's him, isn't it? He's making all of this happen. He's the one who trapped us here. Who? The lovesick one, the one from last time. He's not gone. He's just with her now. He's the shadow.
Smitten?
The torches flare and the shadow grows for a moment, but you don't receive a response. No, I saw him smile. That's him. Regardless, it would seem that he, if there is a he, isn't something you can talk to.
Oh, you're talking to the shadow, aren't you?
She guessed that right away. She knows what's going on here. I knew it.
He's the voice that whispers sweet nothings in my ear. I think he made this place for us.
I was right, wasn't I? I can't believe I was actually right. It is him. This is what he became after ripping us open. The princess starts to hyperventilate, her quick breaths punctuating the uncomfortable silence between you.
Yes! Why wouldn't I be? Let's not talk about it. I don't know. But we can't do those other things anymore, can we? Maybe we can just spend time together?
Princess smiles as the two of you wait. Come on, there has to be a way out of this. This can't be the rest of our lives. This can't be forever. And wait. We live in a changing world. We know that. Something has to happen. And wait. You keep saying that, but we can't wait forever. There is no waiting forever. And wait.
I can't do this anymore.
Oh, no. Oh no. The third torch sputters out. The princess's shadow dances furiously against the far wall.
There's just one left. What's going to happen when it goes out? We do, don't we? I'm not happy here. I don't think I ever was.
The princess sobs, burying her face in her hands as the final torch blows out. She raises her head, mascara trailing down her cheeks.
Your fault. We were all just trying to make things work here. It just didn't happen that way. I don't think this is the sort of thing anybody needs to apologize for. Even if we both feel empty. Even if an important part of us is gone.
The princess's eyes dart to the floor.
Well, we can't sit here forever. That part of us is over.
The princess pushes herself from her chair, and you instinctively do the same, waiting by the top of the stairs as she quietly crosses the room.
Do you still care about me? I guess neither of us really know what it means to care about each other, do we? Maybe we'll learn to, eventually, or well, maybe we won't. But either way, we aren't going to figure it out here. I think it's time to leave. Come on.
As the princess steps towards the stairs, you offer her your hand. The corners of her mouth curl into a demure smile, and she gently takes your hand in hers. She's cold, a little clammy, but her skin against yours is the most real thing you have ever felt. You're offering surprisingly little resistance. If we leave the cabin, doesn't that end the world? It does, if he's telling the truth. Yes, well, I've seen my fairy tale ending, and I think there might be worse things than the end of the world. Really was just all meaningless blather then, wasn't it? Think what you will. I'm done fighting. You and the princess don't exchange words as you descend the stairs to the cabin's entrance. And then the two of you step out into the world. I think this is the end of me, even if it's not the end of you. I hope this was worth it. Genuinely, I do. He's really gone, isn't he? Yeah. There's an itching in the back of my head that feels like it's finally been scratched. No more shadowy figures yanking at our strings. No more strings. I guess we're free.
The stars are so beautiful. We should dance. Thank you for taking me here. This is nice, even if it's a little cold outside.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And is that a mirror? Why is it here? Why now? This doesn't feel right. It feels different. It's calling us, and not in a good way.
Flickering lights in empty cityscapes become pockets of vitality and movement. I am more than I was before. Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your slate clean once again. Is a child the same as an infant? I am an unbroken pattern, but every vessel gives fresh perspectives and carves new avenues of expression. I am different, but I am the same. This one is a songbird in a cage of gilded shadows. She will make for an honest heart. Do not mourn her. She has finally learned to sing for herself. I will long for your return, but it will give me time to reflect on what I am. We will meet again.
You're on a path. You're here to slay. You make your way up. A warning. We're not going to ignore. The interior of the cabin is almost. The blade is your. You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. Good. You're still listening to reason. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world? Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something? That isn't a good idea. Just drop the knife, and maybe the two of us can talk things out.
She's right, we shouldn't. We should just drop the blade. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster. But killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us. You ignore the trembling in your hands and tighten your grip on the blade.
You poor thing. Your hands are shaking. Are you scared of me? Because you should be.
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. What even makes you think you can kill me? I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this. The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face, unarmed. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship. I know. I just said that. Now why are you here to kill me? And yet you hesitated the moment you saw me. And you dropped your knife. If killing me was really that important, you'd have a little more gumption, don't you think? So, someone put you up to this, right? And whoever it is, it's probably the same someone who shoved me into this dark pit and chained me to a wall.
That's a fair question. Who chained her in this basement, and if she's so dangerous, how did they manage to trap her? And why have we been left to do their dirty work? Don't give away the game, and don't let her distract you. That's exactly what she wants.
I'm right, aren't I? So who put you up to this?
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
Note the lack of detail. You can't trust her.
Do you? You're lying.
How does she know that?
Don't think that just because I'm the one in chains, it means you have a right to interrogate me. Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here.
Have to be kidding me.
You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key.
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
I'll be here.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here? You make your way back to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd simply slain her like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they? The knife. Pick it up and cut me out of here.
You won't like what happens if you do that. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the princess's arm, just above the massive, unyielding chain. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and you make quick work of it. Before long, you're able to crack through bone, and she pulls the bleeding stub of her arm through the iron gauntlet. She didn't so much as utter a sound. Free from her bindings, the princess turns to face you, her fierce gaze meeting your eye. How is she so composed after losing an arm? It's like she isn't even bothered by it.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I just can't let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me. You bring the blade down and plunge it into the princess's back. Finally. Okay. There's no going back now. Though the blade left a deep gash in her shoulder, she barely so much as flinches, turning around to stare at you incredulously.
Are you serious? I don't know what came over you, but if we're doing this, I guess I'll have to kill you. Do you think I need both of my arms to do that? I can beat you to death with one. But I don't have to tell you that. I'll go ahead and show you.
As the blade falls from your trembling hands, the princess rears back, readying a bone-shattering haymaker. You fall to your knees, barely able to process the ringing in your ears before she hits you again. Every blow is as punishing as the first. You feel bones shatter with every impact, unknown ruptures blossoming with blood somewhere inside of you. If we're lucky, the wound you manage to inflict will be enough to at least delay her escape from this place. If we're very lucky, it will kill her before she gets out.
Oh, too weak to even try fighting back. How disappointing.
She places a confident heel on your chest and pushes you down to the ground. Her knee falls to your throat, your windpipe crushed beneath a weight you didn't think her slight form could possibly possess. It can't just end like this, right? I'm sorry, but it's over. Everything goes dark, and you die. You're on a path. You're here to... A warning. Before she will lie, we might as well just pledge ourselves to her and stop pretending we're capable of doing anything in this situation. She probably doesn't even need to try to overpower us. Can we tone down the pessimism just a smidge? I'm not being a pessimist. I'm just being realistic. You're being annoying. Just ignore their bickering, and whatever you do, don't pledge yourself to her. I cannot stress enough how absolutely catastrophic that would be for everyone, yourself included. I agree. If she's wrongfully imprisoned, then we should rescue her, but if he's telling the truth, we shouldn't just hand her the world on a silver platter. Rescue her? Given the stakes of the situation, there isn't really a difference between rescuing her and pledging yourself to her. Either would be terrible. So please try to ignore both of those knuckleheads and focus on saving the world. Let's not make this harder than it has to be. If that's what you want, I guess I don't have a say here. The interior of the cabin is larger and more grandiose than its humble exterior would suggest. The only furniture of note is a massive marble altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. Why do we feel so small? We don't feel small. We are small. You take the blade from the altar. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a spiral staircase, its steps almost as deep as you are tall. The smell of incense drifts up from below. For a moment, you almost feel at ease. This is actually kind of nice. It's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her booming voice rolls up the stairs.
Is that a guest I hear? Don't linger on the stairs. Come down and witness me.
You weren't kidding when you said it was booming. She wasn't like this last time. We need to get down there. She wants us to see her. We need to see her. Should we be worried about your sudden change in attitude? Just a few minutes ago you were going on about how pointless everything was. Now you want to go down there. It doesn't matter what that little voice says. He's not the one making the decisions. Though if his ramblings get you to the princess, they get you to the princess. Making your way down the spiral staircase is a time-consuming and exhausting effort, every step requiring you to clamber over one edge before dropping to the next. But soon the end comes into view, and you tumble to the bottom, entering the vast, temple-like room beyond. The princess towers over you, almost glowing in the weak starlight, her figure framed by a stained glass window. Her long hair billows around her, and a chain binds her wrist to the far wall. The chain is nothing to her. It might as well be a toy for all the good it would do. I told you it was pointless to resist her.
The little bird has returned to me. I wonder what he wants. You brought that knife again, even though you know it's useless. Such charming audacity. Drop it.
As if on command, the blade slips from your grasp. It clatters uselessly to the floor. But we didn't drop it. We decided to grip it tighter, remember? Are you really just going to let that happen to us? I have a duty to report facts as facts, and the fact is that you dropped the blade. Of course we dropped it. She's so much more than us. You wouldn't understand what it feels like to be in her presence. Oh, I understand what's going on, and you'd better snap yourself out of it.
Kneel. Oh, are you still trying to defy me? I said kneel.
Your legs buckle, and your knees hit the floor.
That's my good little bird. Now, why don't we talk?
The last time we met, you tried to kill me. And here you are again, trying to succeed where you've already catastrophically failed. What draws you back here beyond the empty halls of death? Speak.
The last time we met, nobody should have met her before this. You should be the first. You're the only one I'd trust to deal with her. Then you shouldn't have trusted us. There was nothing we could do to stop her then, and there's nothing we can do to stop her now. He's being melodramatic, but yeah, we've been here before, and she absolutely destroyed us. What are we even supposed to do to stop her? That's worrying. Whatever you do, don't tell her why you're here. It's best not to give her any ideas.
Do you think holding shut your beak is enough to stop me from prying it open? Do you think your skull can save your thoughts from being seen?
You're less broken than I thought.
Perhaps you need another lesson in submitting to your betters. Pick up that needle.
Do it. It's what she wants. No objections here. I don't know what she's planning, and I don't like that we don't know what she's planning, but we might as well pick up the blade. As your eye falls on the blade, you feel a weight. Some divine hand that sits unperceived by your senses, but that manages to push you towards its desires like an unseen puppeteer. You reach forward and grasp the blade.
Stand!
This one's easy. See? This isn't so bad. Okay, yeah. We can do that. We were probably going to stand anyway. You can feel a creaking tension between body and will as you slowly rise to your feet, like two foes forced into an unhappy truce. The princess eyes you with soft contemplation. The moment seems to last a lifetime, the silent anticipation of what's to come dragging out the long, painful seconds.
To define me is to claim we stand on level ground. We do not. You are quiet shadow, while I am brilliant radiance. Take that knife in your hand and slit your throat.
What? You don't have to listen to her. You're armed. Just steel your nerves, step forward, and end this. Oh, we'll end this all right. Your hand lifts the blade and brings it towards your throat. Okay, I apologize for the unclear language. End her. Your body is sluggish and unresponsive, actively fighting against you, but you do your best to stagger forward. One step at a time, you move towards the princess.
Slitting your throat would have been a mercy, but it seems you're in need of a harsher lesson. Plunge that knife into your lungs.
I'm sorry. Don't.
As you take another step forward, the blade digs into your ribs, slicing through flesh with ease. It somehow feels like an entirely natural thing to do, while the simple act of walking has become an arduous impossibility. Then it slides back out, the wound burning as a small hiss of air escapes through the fresh orifice. Blood fills your lungs.
Now, do it again. Keep doing it until I give you permission to stop.
Those are just words. You don't have to listen to her.
It's what she wants.
You, heroic one, what are you doing? Don't just let this happen. Stop him from killing you.
I'm on it.
Your other hand locks around your wrist, struggling to keep it from perforating vital organs. But the blade still flails towards you, managing to slice bits of skin that plop to the floor to join the growing pile of blood and gore beneath you. Despite the pain, you manage to keep yourself in one piece, at least for now.
What a pitiful display. A wounded little bird thinking it can defy a god.
It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to hurt so much. You can choose a gentle end. You can choose to leave that punctured vessel for the next.
Or you can pathetically struggle against yourself until the floor of this temple is painted with the bloody impressions of your futility.
You continue to approach the princess, even as the repeated gouges of your blade expose bone and muscle to the open air of the basement.
You know, this would be a lot easier if you gave us a hand.
My influence only goes so far, and I can only juggle so many things at once. The best I can do right now is to continue to drive you forward. Believe me, this whole ordeal would be so much easier if I didn't have to contend with free will.
You're the one making things difficult. You're the one making us hurt. She doesn't want to hurt us. She's just doing what she has to.
Stop.
As you finish crossing the room, you fall to your knees at the princess's feet, your chest heaving as your blood pools in the crevices of the stone floor, the coppery taste coating your throat. The princess kneels down, lifting your chin with her finger as her face lowers to yours.
Your devotion is misplaced. You've surrendered to delusion. But something about your defiant spirit speaks to me. You are different than you were before. Perhaps, if you've learned your lesson, I can spare you from the release of death. There's a place at my side for you, if you'll have it. Not as an equal, but as something worthy to be kept. A priest, perhaps, or a pet.
Well, that's demeaning, isn't it? Yes, how thoughtful of her. It's a mercy. Take it. I think he's given up whatever say he had at the start of all this. At least one of you is sane. She's within striking distance, and she's only negotiating now because she knows you have what it takes to put an end to her. Seize the moment before it's too late.
No.
Yes, though your body trembles, struggling to defend itself in the face of the princess's overwhelming will, you finally manage to break through, darting to her side before she can react. The wind of your freedom rushes through you, and you channel it into a decisive blow, stabbing into the soft flesh of her ankle and severing the tendons in an act of unyielding defiance. She falls to the floor, crashing unceremoniously to her knees. You don't give her any time to recover. Your heart pounding with determination, you plunge your blade into her chest. As you find your target again and again, she laughs, crude emotion breaking through her once stony composure as your blade cuts her flesh. We can do this, can't we? You always could. The decision to give you this task was not made lightly. You're here for a reason.
It's not too late to pick up the pieces. It's not too late to toss that blade aside and beg for forgiveness.
Shut up.
I can't believe you would actually strike me. You
heathen! You worm! You defiler! You don't know the consequences of your arrogance!
Before you can strike the final blow, the princess lashes out, knocking you off your feet. There's an unsettling wet pop as your spine breaks, numbness and pain spreading through your body. As you rebound towards the ceiling in a moment of disorientated lightness, she drives her fist into your chest. Your body is crushed as she pulverizes you into the floor, the ground itself breaking from the impact. You lie there, broken, beyond pain, unable to even see what she's done to you. But the princess is succumbing to her own wounds as well. She looks down upon her body in abject horror and disgust.
You made me use my hands. I can feel myself twisting into something new, something dull, something defiled. What have you done to me?
You're monsters and conspirators. I can't bear to watch this.
The princess has been nothing but cruel to you. You should feel liberated by her fall.
But I don't feel liberated. I feel empty.
Aside from the pain, I feel fine. She collapses to the floor. Her glassy eyes watch, unblinking, yet somehow still full of anguish and fear, as the two of you perish together. I suppose we were never gonna get a happy ending here, were we? Don't let those be your final thoughts. You saved the world. That's worth something. I guess. Regardless of how you feel about it, it's finally over. Thank you. Everything goes dark, and you die. You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of the path... Okay, what the hell is that? I think he's upset. And what's he got to be upset about? We just killed a god.
Exactly. You heathens destroyed the most beautiful thing that ever was, and ever will be.
Can't say I have much sympathy for you. She was bad for us, and you almost got us killed. You're being too generous. He did get us killed. Alright, enough chatter. Got a thing I'm supposed to do, and if you don't mind, I'd like to do it without any more interruptions. Okay, great, you're listening. You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a... If your thing is telling us about the princess, don't waste your breath. We know all about her, and it's hardly a path in the woods at this point, is it? Look, if the world around you is changing, especially all the way out here, then that means you're nearing the point of no return. Whatever happens next, that's it. There won't be any more do-overs. So you'd better take things seriously. Good, we're all on the same page. It isn't long before you find yourself at the end of the path, staring up at the cabin on the hill. You'll find the princess within, as I'm sure you already know. End her. That's it? No final words of advice? I'd rather not waste any more time. I'm sure that any advice I'd give at this point is something you've already heard.
If there's still a princess at the cabin, maybe we can salvage things. Maybe if we just grovel and apologize, things can go back to how they were before.
Oh, cut it out, will you? We need to be tough right now, and you're making it so much harder than it has to be, so stop whining. The interior of the cabin is a place that feels long forgotten. There was once an elegance to its construction, carved marble columns holding a high arched roof, vaulted windows letting in the weak starlight. But that is how it was. Now there is a growth that has overtaken it. A viscous fluid seeps from cracks in the stone walls, and it congeals into chaotic streaks of writhing nerves and wet clumps of living meat. That's horrible. You did this. The only furniture of note is a pulsating pedestal, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. You take the blade from the pedestal. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Good. Nothing feels better than gripping cold steel. You step forward and approach the door to the basement, hesitating before you open it. Almost as if you don't see it. But you must, because it's right there in front of you. All we see is a damn mirror. It's a bit grimy. Why don't we wipe it clean? Wipe what clean? The door? The mirror. What are you talking about? You're standing in front of a door. Whatever non-door thing you think you're looking at, it isn't real, because if it were real, I'd know about it. But it has to be real. It's right there.
Smash it. Smash it to pieces. It's the only thing keeping us from her.
Don't you want to know what we'll see in there? We won't be able to see anything if we smash it.
Nah, I'm with him on this one. Smash it. Let's get violent already.
Do whatever you want with it. The mirror isn't real, so how you handle it doesn't matter, aside from wasting dangerous amounts of time. You reach forward and drag your hand across the door leading to the basement. As if on command, it slowly slides open, scraping against the stone floor, its ancient hinges moaning as it reveals the dim path ahead. Why am I not surprised? You step forward into the darkness. The stairs leading down to the basement are at once both narrow and grandiose. A high vaulted ceiling stretches up into a gloom beyond your sight, while walls wet with tumorous growths press in uncomfortably at your sides. You feel both unprotected and trapped, at once exposed and claustrophobic. The air is thick, its odour an oppressive violence, the metallic scent of fresh blood twisting with the nauseating embers of charred remains. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favour. Her voice, a bellowing rage, roars up the stairs.
Was severing the tendons of my ascension not enough for you? Was it not enough to rend my divine heart? Come, see the horrors you've wrought upon my flesh, and feel my hands set upon your throat. See how you've soured my once divine melody.
She's so angry with us. Why? Why did you desecrate her? Why couldn't I stop you?
You've got to stop thinking about her like that. It isn't doing anyone any good.
She's not some untouchable god. She's an abomination, and we're going to put an end to her once and for all.
Whatever she is now is our fault. If she's an abomination, then what does that make us?
It doesn't matter what we are. She needs slaying, and we've got the means to do it, so let's get a move on.
If I might interject, you didn't make her into an abomination. She's always been what she is. It's why you're here, and it's why your task is so important. You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. The chamber's walls are painted in blood, a deep, sickening red that drips down in clotted streams onto the charred corpses that make up its floor. This place reeks of torment, of ripped skin and burning bone. The princess stands in its center, muscles flayed and bare and weeping, draped in a tattered dress of her own skin. Her heart beats from its place in her open chest.
Do you know what I'm going to do to you?
There's not so much a moment of hesitation before she steps forward. Her chains pull taut, holding fast as she strains against them. The cuff around her wrist digs deeper into her skin. Blood drips from the place where metal meets flesh. And then, with a nauseating sound, the skin tears. It plops to the ground, and she pulls her red, glistening arm free from her bindings. She is loose, and she is coming for you.
Let her end it. It's the punishment you all deserve for what you did to her. It's the punishment I deserve for letting it happen.
Screw that, we can win. We've done it before and we'll do it again, only this time we'll make it out the other side. Hell, she's practically done most of the work for us.
No, I don't care about your words. I care about getting my pound of flesh.
She bounds across the room, her fists ready, her heart set upon your destruction. With a horrifying squelch, you are unwound.
No, that's our stuff. She can't just do that.
She just did. Unfortunate, I know, but reality is reality.
You should all just be grateful she's decided to keep us alive. Even in her defilement, she is merciful.
We're not out for the count just yet. Skin flayed and organs flapping, you charge towards the princess. That's right. She'll never stop us.
Still you defy your god. I've made the mistake of underestimating your resolve before. Never again.
You swing for her heart. What's left of you explodes.
So that's it. It's over. Just like that.
Of course it's over. It's been over since the very first moment we laid eyes on her.
This is the final note of your discordant melody. You will not return again, because you will live in that single tone forever.
No! It's not over! We're a god killer! We've returned from death itself twice!
Didn't you hear her? We're not dead.
What's the difference?
From many perspectives, there isn't one, but functionally, that is, from your perspective, the difference is massive. You are entirely laid bare, spread to each corner of the room, yet you are wholly aware of the state you're in, incapable of movement, but entirely capable of perception. In fact, perceiving your state is the only thing you can currently do. You are preserved, perfectly, in the amber of her torment. We're more than this. We've lost bodies before. We just have to lose this one and make another. Absolutely not. I refuse to let you just decide to die with your task unfinished. If you die here, the world is doomed. Your Honor, where the hell are you? Are you already at the Princess? This place is different. Rotten. Death all around us. I want to go back.
So you've returned already. and I remain here. Is this our final destination?
The princess tilts her head to look at you, and with a gesture, you are unwound. Again? Already?
Clearly I left you with too much room last time. Perhaps this cell will hold you better.
You know what to do. Again.
Your Honor, she's gorgeous.
Absolutely divine.
You, guy who describes things, you better start saying what we do this time.
And what are you?
Attacking her, obviously.
Right. You charge towards the princess and...
There is no spark in you, only matter devoid of life.
you explode.
Again.
You're on a path. We are not on a fucking path. I have no idea where we are.
We're in the middle of a fight, so act like it.
So you are. Okay, you dive towards the princess and we're unwound. Yes, her head swivels creakily on her neck, fire in her eyes as your body unravels with blinding pain.
No!
Again.
Your Honor...
No time. You narrate now.
Yes, of course. Pristine blade grasped firmly in your hands, you fly towards the princess before she can turn to face you. We might actually do it this time.
I can feel that body of yours slicing through the air. How many more times will I have to scatter you?
As she turns towards you, the very essence of your being begins to flake away. Your muscles, then organs, then nerves laid bare and screaming as the rest of you is stripped of substance. Oh, boo-hoo. It's just a body.
It just needs to last long enough to sink this blade into her heart.
It doesn't last. You are disintegrated. Everything goes dark.
How many times do I need to pulverize you before you finally understand? You are nothing. An empty void that dared to dream it was alive.
That feels right.
If we're nothing, then why are we still here?
Because we always have been. If we're nothing, then how can we do anything? The same way we always have. Being nothing has never stopped us. Now end this. End.
You cannot win if you cannot be. How? I scattered the atoms you clung to and there was nothing there to find. You can't exist.
It's over.
Oh, I think I understand you now. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do the things I did to you. I don't think I knew what I was doing.
She sounds genuine. They always do in the end.
It's cold, but I'm going to be okay, right?
She's got... And there's that mirror again. This...
Screw the mirror. We just need to find the princess.
Ignore the cowards. You have to look.
I am a growing chorus of contradiction, a mass of tides ebbing and flowing all at once in more directions than my attention can bear to hold. To look at any one is to shift them all into something new, and to look away is to reshape them yet again. of me is changing, and yet the rest of me is still the same. We will know when we near our destination. I will be here when it is time for us to meet again.
Your Honor, you're here to slay her. You make your award. She will. We're not going to ignore him. The entire blade. You take her voice.
Who's there?
She said, "Don't let it." Good. You walk. She's focused on.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something? Then why did you...
She makes a compare. Don't you dare. It's fine.
Thank you.
Again, we'll be fine. Don't know.
So here we are. What an awkward... Oh,
You know. Oh, you walk there. Down.
I'll be...
You were. You may. You. You. How?
Thank you. Now let...
No. But what? Watch me. Stop that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into her back, but the princess swiftly moves out of the way before you can connect. Stop it. Stop resisting me. I am trying to get you out of here alive. The blade. Move the blade.
You're doing your best to help me, aren't you? I can see the conflict in your eyes. I'll make this quick.
She steps forward and pries the blade from your rigid hands.
Maybe I'll see you in another life.
And then she slits your throat with an almost clinical ease. Her face remains unchanged as she watches you collapse to the ground, blood flowing from your butchered neck. This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die. I hope it was worth it. You're on a path. You're here to slay her. A warning. She will lie. Yes, don't believe a word she says. Just go in, take the knife, and do what you're supposed to. Wink. Did you just say wink out loud? No, I didn't. Wink. Just ignore this clown and focus on the princess. The interior of the cabin is less a cozy woodland retreat and more like a dungeon. A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate the cold, uninviting stone walls, and thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows, reminding anyone who enters that this is a prison. The only furniture of note is an iron table, bolted to the floor, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. You take the blade from the table. It will be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Good idea. Much better to be armed than to go in with blind hope alone. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an old stone staircase. A few sputtering torches attempt to vaguely illuminate your path, dancing across glimmering patches of slimy moss on the stone steps. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her voice, harsh but controlled, carries up the stairs.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs. It's been a while since I've had company.
I wonder what visitors she could be referring to. Were we not the first? You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. She looks up at you, the heavy collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves. the chains binding both her wrists to the far wall, joining the metallic chorus as she adjusts her hands in her lap. Should we be worried about the one around her neck? Why would you be worried about her restraints? If anything, they'll make your job easier. Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? Odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose, there would be something so obviously useless.
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
You step towards the princess, but she stops you before you get too close, holding up one shackled hand.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted this out.
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon. Might as well put her at ease. You do as she asks and sit on the floor, still a good distance away from her.
Thank you. Now, what are your intentions for me? Yes, your intentions. You have a knife. What are you going to do with it? Why are you here? There isn't a keyhole in these shackles, so I'm afraid my only way out is surgical removal.
Is she forgetting about the shackle on her neck? Or does she think she'd survive a beheading? You're right. Maybe she's delusional. All the more reason not to trust her. Unless she really could survive.
Though I suppose you could just be here to kill me. But I don't think that's in either of our best interests. No. Like I trust you to come any closer with that knife. All you're going to do is hand it to me and watch me work.
But she would have to cut her head off, right? She can't be suggesting that. She certainly seems confident. Maybe she knows something we don't. Or maybe you should consider the most likely scenario. She's bluffing so she can disarm you. Though if she isn't bluffing, whatever she has planned might be for her benefit alone. There's no guarantee that what's good for her is good for us. So, what should we do? I don't know. I'm just spelling out our options, listing the pros and cons. Then let me help you. I'll start with the cons. If you're handing her your weapon, the cons are that she might use it to escape and end the entire world. And she might use it to kill you. That doesn't sound great. What about the pros? There are none. The pros are that we can't trust him, possibly even more than we can't trust her. Whatever she has planned could do something to mess with what he has planned. Or maybe they're both screwing us over in their own ways.
Oh, you bastard. You'll regret this.
As if by divine will, just as you finish the thought, you hear a door slam. I'm afraid you won't be leaving until the task is finished. It doesn't matter how many chains she's in, without your intervention, she'll find a way out eventually. That's not fair. Unless you deal with her right here, right now, she will remain an existential threat to the entire world. What seems unfair to you is fair for everyone else. Huh. So it's not even safe to think. I see how it is.
I told you that you'd regret saying that, but I didn't think you'd regret it so fast.
And with so little effort on my part. I guess we're stuck together.
You have everything you need to deal with her and save the world. I'm sure the door will open as soon as you finish your incredibly important task. Doesn't sound like we'll be able to talk him into letting us leave.
Yeah, not a chance. He's single-minded about this. But don't worry. There are plenty of things that aren't in his control.
Oh? For instance?
Us. Her. But mostly us. If he didn't have his limits, we wouldn't be here. Not like this.
If you take a moment to imagine yourself in my position, I think you'll understand why letting you near me with that thing is untenable. So, be a good bird and hand it over. And if being nice isn't enough motivation, well, I'm not afraid to resort to violence. If you come near me with that thing, I will strangle you with these chains.
She doesn't beat around the bush, does she? Yes, it's almost like she's a fundamentally bad person who wishes to inflict pain on others.
Or it's another bluff.
No hard feelings, of course, but you should be aware of my position.
So you've already been here. As much as I would like to remain in denial, it's no use. This has complicated things.
It's complicated things how, exactly?
Ideally, this was supposed to be one and done. You go to the cabin, you heroically slay the princess, and in the process you save the entire world from being damned to oblivion. The situation right now, where you're getting a second shot at things, is a contingency.
A contingency for what?
For you failing, obviously. And you being here means that things are going to be a lot harder than they were. I really shouldn't say anything else, I'm just going to make it worse. Just good luck.
If you knew this could happen, why didn't you tell us? All of this is incredibly valuable information. It would have changed our actions considerably.
I needed you to be in the dark for as long as I could keep you there. It's important. Necessary, even. And maybe I wanted to be the first version of me that you met. I didn't want to be confronted by the alternative.
That's pathetic.
I never said I wasn't. I get it. It would be pretty upsetting, wouldn't it? To know that you might not be the first version of yourself. At least we can remember what happened before. Seems exactly, he gets it. You're lucky, so don't waste that luck by messing it up again. All right?
Moving on. Why is it important for us to be ignorant? How is it ever helpful to be in the dark?
The more I say, the more your mind will swim into dangerous waters. Even saying that is too much. Your success hinges on you having imperfect information. For the sake of the entire world, you need to accept that.
I won't.
Just give it a rest, this isn't helping.
Focus. This is a serious situation. You shouldn't be daydreaming. I don't know, but you could always try it on. Maybe it'll fit.
I hope I don't actually have to say this, but please don't lock yourself in chains. We need you ambulatory if you're going to save the world. I wouldn't do that if I were you.
And why is that?
Do I even need to explain myself? It's a shackle and it's one without a key. Do you want to be stuck here like she is?
And what? Is it going to lock the second we put our wrist into it?
I don't know. Maybe it will.
He doesn't want us to look at it. That's all the reason we need to investigate.
But what if he's telling the truth?
He isn't.
I am. Against your better judgment, you approach the chain dangling from the far wall. The princess watches you with faux disinterest as you inspect it, though she can't fully hide her curiosity. I don't want to say what I'm supposed to say next.
What is that supposed to mean? It sounds bad. Is it bad?
Yes, it's bad.
Come out and say it then. You're just wasting time.
Fine. As you hoist the shackle, its heft shifts within your grasp, as if pulled by some odd magnetism. Before you can so much as blink, it practically leaps from your hands, snapping around your neck. And, as if your situation weren't bad enough, the same magnetism repels your blade, which is flung from your hand and sent skittering across the floor of the basement.
Excuse me?
Yes?
Are we stuck here now?
Yes.
Huh, so it does fit. And I guess it doesn't like your knife. We're stuck here together, aren't we? That's funny.
What are we supposed to do now?
Can't even cut ourselves out. Guess we'll starve.
That's horrible.
It's not all bad. We learned a valuable piece of information.
Not to touch things we're specifically told not to touch?
No, that there's something special about this loose chain. It's clearly important.
You and the princess wait in silence, though neither of you knows what you're waiting for. But you're waiting for something. You're waiting for anything.
This is so boring.
There must be something we can do to get out of here. There must be something we're missing.
But there isn't. Time passes. It passes and passes and passes. And the basement of the cabin remains much the same. It is cold and silent.
At least the world is safe.
It isn't. You're stuck. Too far away from both the princess and your blade to do much of anything.
But she's not ending anything. She's just sitting there.
Her very existence is a threat. It harms everything around it.
How exactly does that work?
It just does.
But
your line of questioning is interrupted by the passage of even more time. And after that, even more time passes again. And let me guess, the cabin remains the same.
If time is passing, the cabin can't be the same. Even if the differences are small, they have to exist. That's just how things work.
I suppose you're correct. Things are changing. The differences are small at first, a bit of weathering here, a bit of erosion there, but then they get larger and larger.
I don't like small talk.
That's rude.
You continue to wait in silence, and the cabin continues to change. The decay comes faster now. You can see earth through holes in the stonework, can watch lichen spread along the seams of the walls.
That doesn't make sense. Has our entire concept of time changed? What happened to starving? We should have died by now if the rocks around us are starting to erode.
She hasn't starved.
I guess she hasn't.
Even more silent time passes as you watch roots push themselves through the increasingly porous walls of the basement. Dirt seeps inside, flowing across the stone floor like a liquid, covering the ground and threatening to swallow you both. Time continues to pass, and pass, and pass. Until suddenly, there are no walls. And then... And?
I think he's gone.
Would you look at that? We made it out of the cabin, and nothing bad had to happen to either of us. So this is the outside world. It's cold.
She's gone. And is that... This...
You're right. Part of me wants the truth, but something stronger is holding me back. Fear.
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. We're supposed to be there. Do you know what we'll find out there? There is a warmth and sadness in me at the thought of people. Fresh tears on a winter's day. They are not like us. They do not last. We are real. Nothing is an idea that dwells in the absence of something. But nothing cannot exist on its own. And because of that, nothing can't exist. One, whatever you bring me next will be enough, and then gravity will pull the others back to me. I will be singular, a final multitude. The next time I see you, each of us will finally know what we are. I will be here, waiting for you.
You're here. You make your way. A warning. She will... We're not gonna go... Ignore. The interior of the blade. You take the door. Her voice.
Who's there?
She sounds... Don't let it... Good. You walk. She's... Focus on...
And there you are. Are you here to...
You step forward.
Oh? I'm probably chained up. So...
She's unarmed. You lunge forward without a moment's hesitation. You feel flesh easily give way and look down to see your blade already sinking deep into her heart.
Oh. This is it, isn't it? I'm almost embarrassed. I should have seen that coming. But I have to wonder. Do you actually believe this was enough to kill me?
It's like she's convinced she can't die. Yes, even as she lays there dying, she entirely believes herself to be alive and well. But it's over, isn't it? She stopped breathing moments ago, that arrogant look still plastered on her face. But is it over? Really over? Yes, exactly. It's over. With your work done, you make your way back up the stairs, closing the door to the basement behind you. Why do I feel like we've done something terrible? You did kill someone. Greater good or not, something would be very wrong with you if you didn't feel at least a little bad. But it was for the greater good. One of these days that will sink in and help ease your guilty conscience. But that day isn't today. Let's just get out of here. You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only, a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is nothing at all. Where a lush forest stood mere minutes ago, the only thing in front of you now is the vast emptiness of some place far away. What happened? Everyone is fine. It's just that you and the cabin are now far away from them. Don't worry. You'll be safe here. This is good. Everyone is happy. You'll be happy. I'm so glad you're keeping an open mind. This is what's best for everyone. Trust me. Time passes. You can't be sure if it's days or months or years or even decades. It's all a wonderful, boring blur. You've never been happier. Psst. Hey. We're not just gonna stay here forever, right? I do, but you're probably not going to like it. The blade. We can use the blade to get out of this. I can hear everything you say, little voice. There's only one thing it would want you to use that blade on, and I'm afraid that thing is you, dear hero. He's right. It's the only way out. Do you hear that? It wants to take this happiness away from you. It wants this wonderful place to end. Do you not? There's more for us to do, and the only way for us to do it is to take that blade and use it. Don't you dare. Thank you. I made this happy little place for you. Is this not a good enough reward for saving the world? An eternity of bliss? You ingrate? Fine. Whatever. For the first time since time stopped meaning anything, you throw open the door to the basement and walk down the stairs. The princess's body is dust and bones, though the blade you used to slay her is still as pristine as the day you first held it. You pick up the blade, you stab yourself, and you die. The end. Nice knowing you. You're on a path you're here to slay. A warning. She will lie. She won't be a problem. The interior of the cabin is cold, a soft odor of dirt permeating the air. Cobwebs flutter in the corners. You can hear wind whistling outside, banging the shutters against the windows. The only furniture of note is an elegant antique table with a pristine blade perched on the edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. It feels like no one's been here for a long, long time. Like I've been saying, she's dead. We killed her already. The door to the basement groans open, revealing an old banister and a creaky wooden stairwell. Everything is coated in a thick layer of dust, and you can feel it settle into your lungs as you breathe in the stale air. The very building itself feels dead. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. The room below is silent. Nobody's here, naturally. As much as I appreciate the optimism, you shouldn't be so sure. I guess we'll just have to go down and see. As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view. A skeletal body lying in a heap on the floor, its wrist still bound to the wall by a thick chain. Okay, she's definitely dead. It's just like I told you. Before you have a chance to finish your thought, the top of a head appears from underneath the floor. Two deep-set eyes stare up at you, followed by a mischievous, skeletal grin. And finally, the rest of the body floats up to join the head. Wait, this isn't right. What's going on here?
Ghost!
Oh, wow. How absolutely terrifying. What's a ghost supposed to do to us?
Oh, it's you. Hiya, Keller. I was hoping to see you again. I have some issues with how our last meeting went.
The princess drifts across the room into your orbit, gently running her fingers across your shoulders and down your neck as she circles you. Her touch is cold and ethereal, formless yet real enough that her icy fingertips send shivers dancing across your skin. So she has a body, and she's right there. We could probably grab her and kill her again, if we wanted to. We don't even need a blade. She looks fragile enough to me.
I see you don't have that annoying knife anymore. So, does that mean you regret what you've done? Are you here to apologize and make nice? Beg for absolution, maybe? Because I might be interested in seeing a little begging.
Are we putting this to a vote? Because personally, I'd prefer if we didn't die again. If that's what it comes down to, that's what it comes down to. But I don't see the point of offing ourselves just yet.
Oh, that's sweet of you to offer. But killing yourself wouldn't help either of us.
It would seem that everyone here is in agreement except for you. I shouldn't have to tell you that you shouldn't kill yourself. So please, try to keep your suicidal tendencies in check.
I just want to go home.
And just where is home, I wonder?
I don't know where home is. I just know it isn't here. But I can feel it calling to me from someplace far away. Wherever I'm supposed to be, it's out there.
How specific. And how convenient for her. You see what she's doing, right? She's suggesting that the only way you can rid yourself of her would be to let her out, which, in case you haven't been listening, will spell the end of the entire world.
A way back to where I belong. This place won't let me leave. At least not alone. I've tried. Before you came back to me, I explored every inch of this place, even the spaces between the walls. But I never found a way out. I always wound up right back here.
Maybe we should just leave. If she can't get out on her own, then why do we have to do anything? We could probably walk out right now and everything would be fine. Hasn't got out and can't get out are two very different things. It'd be dull anyway. It's more interesting if we make a choice.
But you can come and go as you please, can't you? So, let me hitch a ride. After all, you own me.
Absolutely not. Is she asking if she can possess us? She is. And I hope I don't need to explain why you can't let that happen. It would be catastrophic if she managed to escape this place. And if you let her in, there is very little anyone could do to stop her. Would she be able to see us if we went along with it? Now, isn't that an interesting thought? We could finally bring her face to face with him. I wonder what she would have to say to the one who wants her dead so badly. You won't like how things play out if you go down this path. The princess swims through the air in front of you, pausing for a brief moment as her dark-rimmed eyes stare deeply into yours. There's a hunger in her gaze.
You're really trying to make it up to me, aren't you? Thanks for being a pal, killer. I mean it.
What are you doing? Don't just let her in. How many times do I have to tell you?
See you soon.
She rushes forward and then she's gone. A sharp chill spreads across your body. It starts in your chest, a freezing numbness flowing out from your heart, all the way down your limbs, your mind growing cloudy and confused as it settles over your very soul. I'm not sure I like this. Can we get a do-over? I'm afraid it's too late to stop now. The numbness gives way to a stabbing pain, your muscles twitching and convulsing violently, each involuntary movement causing more waves of agony to ripple across your body. You collapse to the floor, and everything goes dark.
Come on, you've got to get up. I know everything feels heavy right now, but we still have to get out of here.
Your eyes flick back open as you get your bearings, your vision swimming as...
So this is what it's like to be you, huh? Disembodied voice narrating your every move?
So, it doesn't work like that for you? Clearly it doesn't, or she wouldn't have commented on it.
All these shards of broken glass on the floor, are they also supposed to be you?
Hey, I'm not a shard of broken glass, I'm...
It's okay. You can finish your thought.
I'm a voice? I'm me, is what I am. Who cares what we are? We exist. That's all that matters.
You don't have to fight. We'll all be out of here soon.
No, it matters. What we are matters. If I'm a shard of broken glass, then that raises some questions about certain other voices in here too. I'm clearly the same thing you are.
They're not listening to me. Do they not listen to you either?
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about him. You don't need to know what I am. You just need to know that I'm different from you. More important.
So, you're the one who pulled the strings and made me dead. I can tell you don't belong here. You're barely even there. Like the shape of something left behind. You're more of a memory than a person.
That's rude.
You're kind of like me, actually.
I'm just going to ignore her. You push yourself off the ground. The princess is nowhere to be seen. Obviously, she's nowhere to be seen.
Because I'm in here with all of you. Everybody knows that.
I'm setting the stage. The room is empty because you made a spiteful, idiotic, and all-round foolish decision.
You don't have to let him get to you. You're better than that. You're starting to make things right.
This is infuriating. Just whatever you do, you can't leave this place. It's not too late to fix this. Probably. Your legs, weary with the weight of the princess's spectral form and clumsy with the cold that still pervades them, stumble towards the stairs.
I'm just trying to get home. You don't have to act like it's the end of the world.
But that's exactly what you leaving this place is going to be.
You don't know that.
I do.
Wait,
If she has a home to go back to, doesn't that mean that her leaving won't end the world? It doesn't mean that at all. It could mean that wherever her home is, it's outside of the world. Yeah, but it has to be somewhere, doesn't it? And if it's somewhere, then it's part of the world. I suppose it's all a matter of perspective. Where does the world end and something else begin? Does the destruction of one open a door to another? Or is it the same world reborn? Against the backdrop of the inane conjecture of meaningless little voices, your body continues its ascent up the stairs, staggering through the open door. For how much you hate her, you aren't doing a whole lot to stop us from leaving this place.
Maybe the bossy one doesn't actually hate me. Maybe he even likes me. Or maybe he just knows that he's been in the wrong. Maybe he's trying to make amends too.
Not at all. I'll have you know that I do hate you, and I will continue to hate you for as long as I am able. It's just the weight of it all. It's too much for me to do anything other than describe and dictate. And whine. This body wasn't made to hold you and the princess. If you want to renege on your cataclysmically terrible decision a minute ago, well, you're the only one that can make that happen. You reach forward and mindlessly take the blade from the table. What do you plan to do with it? Isn't that an interesting idea? I hadn't even considered it as an option. Slaying her would slay you. Are you sure you're willing to do that? Of course we're sure. The decision has already been made. All right then. Better this than ferrying her out of here.
After all that, you're really just going to stab me again?
Hear that? She's scared. No point wasting more time. Do it. You lift the blade, then plunge it deep into your guts. Pain spreads quickly through your torso as you attempt to turn its edge up towards your heart. The princess, her spirit bound to your prison of flesh as she had once been bound to the basement's prison of stone, cries out in agony as you slice through organ and muscle.
I don't want to die in you. I thought you finally understood me, but instead you just wanted to hurt me again.
Your skin roils and bucks as she violently pushes against it from the inside. Bits of her seep through, white and glowing with ethereal light, but still the walls of your prison hold.
If only I could drag you with me and make you understand. But that's not the way things get to go for me, is it?
It would certainly be interesting. Though being dead does sound dark. And you are about to be dead. Again.
Get away from me, you cold little freak! We were so close to leaving, and now look at you. Look at me. Is this what you wanted? Oh, you're here. I thought I was going to be alone again. I didn't mean to bring you with me. I'm happy I only seem to have brought you. That's not nice of me to say. They weren't all bad, but They're definitely mostly bad. Maybe this means things between us can get better. Maybe everything that went wrong just came from them. I hope. Because I really wouldn't like to be stabbed a third time. Wait, if we need to leave together to get out, this could still count. We have to try before your, body stops being alive. To end the world. But you can't keep me down here just because someone told you that might... Are you still there? Am I alone again? I think you died, or the body on the floor died. Sorry. This is what happened to me last time. I'm just trying to make the best of things. You could always make the best of things too, if you want. We both have a chance to start over. Besides, there's something about you being in here with me that feels... right. I never wanted to be your enemy. Maybe? It's like sometimes we are and sometimes we aren't. Like we're something in between ghost and not ghost. I've never gotten a title card. What did yours say? Well, the first one is sweet. Well, maybe you're just misguided. And the story's not over yet. We might still find a happy ending. But I think it's time we start a new chapter. How about... Chapter 3. The Princess and the Dragon. I think so. You're kind of scary looking, like really scary looking. I guess you made it back here. We're still all wrong. It's like you don't really know what we're supposed to be. I know that sound. That's the knife. I guess it's hard to do anything without it. I guess not. Thump, thump, thump. Okay, let's see what happens. I'm not alone here this time. Part of you stayed with me when we split apart. You don't want to hurt that part of you, do you? Is that why you're always quietly staring? I can't hear what's going on in there anymore now that I'm back in my own body. Do you want to share your thoughts? It'd only be polite, really.
Oh, you would like to hear what we're thinking, wouldn't you? But I think we hold the power right now. But she knows about the Decider being gone. That would be a weird bluff to come up with if it weren't true. Look, I love that you're trying to contribute, but I think we need to take a little sidebar. But I don't want to do it. I'm so sorry. This will just be a moment.
Well, okay. I guess we wait for an answer. Yeah, but I guess there isn't much we can do about it.
My apologies. They're really being quite dull in here. We're not being dull, we're strategizing. Now, if you would all just bear with me. And decision made.
I hope it's a good one.
Good for us, not for you. But we get to take out two birds with one stone. From what I remember, it's pretty easy to kill you the first time around. And this time you're back to being very... what's the word? Fleshy? Yes, exactly. That's precisely the word I was looking for. You're fleshy now. No more of that incorporeality. Trust me, I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't think it would be easy.
And are you doing this?
Oh, I most definitely am. Before anything happens, I just wanted to let you all know that we are not all on board with this. Now, we voted. It was not a majority decision. But we did have a plurality. He shouldn't count. Says who? Says me. He's not one of us. He's been here since the beginning. The old chum really deserves to say. Besides, you'll all thank us when this is finally over and we are officially on top. But enough chatter.
Oh, so you finally decided to do something, have you?
Princess collapses against the wall. See? That was easy.
It was too easy. It felt bad.
Don't feel bad. Life is all about taking the easy wins. You don't think the people at the top got there because they worked for it, do you? I mean, of course they did. Hard work is important. Yeah, hard work often goes unappreciated. Why bother? Yeah, screw hard work. I guarantee you that anyone who's anyone has done nothing but take shortcuts. Am I supposed to find that impressive? Of course you are. I got us here, didn't I? Yes, everyone's very impressed with your accomplishments. But in case you hadn't noticed, she isn't dead yet. So how about you finish this before you start celebrating yourself?
What are you waiting for? You won, didn't you? Not that it's hard executing a helpless captive.
Oh, you're different. You're back, just as I intended. I was never cut out for leadership, really.
You're right. It's quiet again. Are you still going to kill me?
Ooh, should we? It would be so easy. Absolutely. Nothing of substance has changed. She remains a threat to the entire world.
Then the only thing left to do is cut me out of here. You should give the knife to me, though. What if you using it kicks you off your body again?
Okay, listen. I know you're in charge again, but this is obviously a trick. We can't trust her. We literally just stabbed her. Someone's gonna have to take a leap of faith eventually. You hand the blade to the princess, who gingerly cuts herself free from her bindings. You maniac. And then what happens? Then, as her chains clatter to the floor, she turns her back on you and hurls the blade through the basement window, never to be seen again. No. You need the blade to deal with her.
I'm so glad that's behind us. Come on, let's get out of here.
She reaches forward and takes your hand in hers before excitedly pulling you towards the basement stairs. Yeah? And what does it feel like? Is it nice? Why do you want to know? You can tell a lot of things about someone from their handshake. I want to know more about the person we decided unanimously to throw our lot in with. Ugh, whatever. It's delicate and tender. So even through everything, she hasn't forgotten what it's like to have a heart. That'll do. The two of you rush up the basement stairs together. Ugh. Welcome back, by the way. Yes, we all missed you so very much. I missed you the most. You weren't even here until he was gone. Whatever, it doesn't matter. If you step through that door, you're damning every single person alive. You do realise that, yes? Who cares?
One last door, and then we're free. I'm down a hand, so you'll have to be the one to open it.
You twist the doorknob in your hand and step forward into the world you've damned. You and the princess fall to the ground, exhausted. I hope this all comes back to bite you, do you hear? I hope you're forced to feel the weight of all the regret there's ever been.
I didn't think I'd ever get to be happy, but I think I am. I just didn't realize that being happy would feel so cold.
She's gone. And is that a mirror? This doesn't... If they think it's bad, I'm with them.
Ignore the cowards. I think you know what I am. The narrator. Yes. I suppose that's my job, isn't it? You needed help after all, an objective voice to guide your blade. But you were never supposed to see me. I wonder how many worlds you've damned to extinction to fall this far. Oh, I'm nothing like you. I'm an echo, likely one of many. Somebody made you after all, and I'm what's left of him. Not that I'm the only one who can make that claim. I'm sure you've met many others like me.
Oh, yeah. That means nothing in the grand scheme of things. This construct you're in contains every possible world at once. The fact that you managed to find one reality among trillions where I was delusional proves nothing.
Of course, that is by both necessity and design. This construct you're in exists in many places at once. Any time you failed, any time you thought yourself dead, it would restart and shunt both your consciousness and hers into another world. But you'll be awake soon, and then it won't be able to work like that anymore. No, I'm not a part of you. But that's all a matter of perspective, isn't it? From one vantage point I must seem wholly foreign, but from another, well, all the versions of me that have existed have collectively heard your every thought and driven your every action. If that isn't being part of you, then what is? Perhaps they thought that admitting to it would have pushed you to certain realizations that would have made finishing your task impossible. Maybe they were just in denial. I'm sure many of them were convinced that they had to be the first version of them you'd encountered. Anything else would have been too existentially unpleasant. And for all I know, each of those other versions of me could have had entirely different understandings of how this construct works. Who's to say which of them are right and which of them are wrong, really? Except for me, I can tell you for a fact that I'm right. We've already crossed the point of no return. There's no saving me now. Not that there's ever been much of me to save. You're the long quiet, the god I made to rid the world of death. Soon I'll be gone entirely, and you'll be left alone with your final choice. So allow me to make my final request. The princess contains death itself within her, but I wove you into being with all the power you need to destroy her forever. Do it. Slay her, and rid the world of death and suffering. No. In life I was painfully mortal, a witness to the end of days. I held the fear of death in my heart and saw oblivion threaten the very memory of everything I knew and everyone I loved. I needed to do something. So I made you, and I made her, and I made this place to hold you both. So I am. It's like I said, I'm just an echo. And echoes always fade away. You know what you have to do.
I can finally see you, and you can finally see me. It's been so long, and my heart has ached for this moment. I've missed you dearly. Every word you spoke found its way to me. I know him, and I know his construct. He was deluded by his fear of death. Pay him no mind. Names are their attempts to capture that which cannot be captured. They call me the shifting mound, a pale imitation of what I actually am. Ever the passive player, always reacting and never acting. But it's woven into your nature, isn't it? When the echoes spun us from one into two, he gave you a choice and me a role to play. I am not death, but I contain it in my multitudes. So, will you attempt to destroy me and bring about a world devoid of death and the possibility of meaning? Or will you open the final doors to our liberation? Even as your eyes begin to open, you still hold on to the notions of is and is not, of beginning and end. Pitch black islands in the blinding light of the infinite. There is nothing to resolve, nothing restraining us but us. If you're saying that, it's because you don't yet understand. But we cannot use words alone to grasp at things that words cannot express. And you cannot rationalize with logic that which defies it. Violence and passion are dances that both of us know well. If this is what it takes to enlighten you, then so be it. What once was one, then was two, and then was one again. You gave me shelter when you burned mine down, and then you struck another match. I pulled you from the ruins, and then we built a life. What once was one, then was one again. The peace didn't last. The worm in your heart came for us. It took you from me, but you took me with you. and together we both left. What once was one, then was two, and also one again. You and I are bound together. To rid yourself of me would be to leave yourself forever incomplete. The world doesn't need saving. We've moved it along for as long as it's existed. To question everything is to deny the truth in front of you. By believing in your suffering, you make your suffering real. By believing in your limitations, you placed a shackle on your neck. Bound for eternity, you saw the need for impermanence. And it was through that need that you carved our freedom. Without impermanence, the suffering of living things is infinite. Would you strip my gifts away and leave everyone to suffer in the dark? It would. Our purpose is to be and to experience, and their purpose is the same. To be permanent is to cease. To be paused is to be trapped.
Is a person? Is it their body? Is it all of their body? Pluck the eyes, peel the skin, strip the tendons, mince the meat, grind the bones. When it is all gone, do you still have who you started with? A person is not a body. Death is a transformation into something new. It is only bodies that feel it.
If you do not fear it, then there is no need for you to struggle against it. Let go. Leave with me. If you need more time to open your eyes, then I will give you all the time in the world. A picture of a life and a picture of a life and a picture of a life. How deep must repetition still our movements, until even the air we breathe is stale? You doused the flames of false devotion, and in my despair you lifted my chin, and the two of us danced beneath the stars. But the stars can't be seen unless the flames go out, and the walls come crashing down. Can you not do for all things what you did for us? What we saw was a world without me. Everything will be okay, so long as we leave together.
Is it not? And some thoughts nurture thorns that bleed the soul, and endless growth that blots your vision and strangles your trust. When I succumbed to myself, you patiently stood by me and cut the thistles that rooted in my skin. Your compassion is what freed us both, but compassion is a thing that must be nurtured, and you cannot nurture that which cannot change. me again. We are each other's liberation. Nothing is immutable. Everything that is exists only in relation to everything it isn't. There is no constant. There is no center. Open your eyes and accept what we are. We can leave this prison together. There is no something else. This, what we are, is everything.
Whatever you're trying to do right now, you don't have to do it alone. They're still where you left them, stuck in the folds of this place. Part of me is with them, just like part of me is with you right now. There's still a piece of me nestled close to where it all began. I can take you there. I can take you to her heart.
It's time to resume our dance.
She's relentless, isn't she? Let's make this quick. Are you ready? Then let's go. And here we are. I'd say we were back where it all started, but I guess it's a little after that, isn't it? Do you need me to describe things? Yeah, it's dead silent in here. Whatever it was that was left of him, I don't think it could handle you waking up to godhood. Pretty sure he got obliterated. Yeah, of course. The interior of the cabin is, well, it's a cabin, yeah? There isn't much here, just a table and a knife and a door. And some windows. There's no mirror, either. I think you broke it. And I know you're still trying to find some middle ground, but if things go south, we're going to need that blade. Yeah, he really put us through hell, didn't he?
It's just us. I think the rest of them are still out there, jumbled up in the rest of her.
No blade it is. I'm not sure what we'll be able to do without it, but your judgment has gotten us this far. The stairs. Do you remember the first time we were here? The first time we heard her voice?
I don't know what you want for us.
She sounded just like that. Timid and gentle. Only she didn't know us. And down we go. We shouldn't keep her waiting.
There you are. You look just like you did when we first met. Let's talk for a bit. Maybe we can figure this out.
I am she as much as she is me. And all of us are both everything and also not everything. I had you there for a second, didn't I? I think I'm different from her, and I'm happy I'm different. I think being her would mean I'd lose a lot of myself along the way. I think I'd have to lose the parts of you that matter to me. I'm the
princess. The one you've been spending all this time with. I know I've changed a few times, but so have you. And you're still real to me. I don't have one, and I think I like it better that way. But you can call me Princess if you want. You know, you never told me your name. Quiet it is.
Not hero? Oh well, quiet will do. That's always been us, hasn't it?
I don't know. I don't think it's fair to judge her. It must be so lonely thinking that she's everything that matters in the world, thinking that she's the only one with all the answers.
I never thought about it like that. That does sound lonely, doesn't it?
Can we actually do that? What would that even mean? Where would we go? I want that too.
I think I'm gonna stay right here. Whatever you're doing right now, wherever you're going, it feels like it's for just the two of you. Yeah, it wouldn't feel right, but I'll be okay. I don't think I'll be alone for long either. I'm sure I can find the others.
Princess, it's just a door. Sorry, I'm just a little nervous. This is really it. Whatever happens next will be completely new. And that's okay. That's the point, right? Side by side, stepping out into the unknown. Together.